Welcome, everybody. People have been asking for a list of resources and things to read about the Paramitas. And I found this amazing reader's guide on Shambhala Publications website. So I just put the link to that reader's guide in the chat. And there's 1,000 books, and it's across all different traditions. It's very rich. One of the very last ones mentioned is a book called The World Could Be Different by an American Zen teacher. Yeah, at least give me the thumbs up on that one. And Andrew Powers recommended it to me. I don't know if Andrew's here yet this morning, but it's about the Paramitas from the point of view of Zen and Americans and imagination. And with all the writers and artists we have here, I just thought I recommend that book among many others. Okay, this session is a continuation of our long-running series on the Paramitas. It's number 5, session number 6, Paramita number 5, and it's called meditation. Can anyone name any of the previous 4 Paramitas? Just unmute and say it out loud.
Generosity.
Yes.
Discipline.
Discipline. Yes.
Enthusiasm.
Yes.
Patience.
Patience. Very good. All right. Fantastic. Okay. So this one is about meditation. And the first 4 Paramitas are found in many spiritual traditions and in many human societies in general. Like we Buddhists, of course, have our own take on them, but and it's not a one-to-one match with other, traditions or teachings and other in other societies. But you won't find many, Jewish people or Muslim people or Christian people who say no, generosity and discipline and patience and enthusiasm aren't admirable qualities in a person. Like it's pretty common, basic human things to encourage and develop for all of us. And it's not a big stretch to think that no matter where you grow up, like those are qualities that you would want to develop. Meditation, on the other hand, specifically the meditation that we mean here is a little bit different. In the West, when Plato and Buber and Kant and the sort of great thinkers of the Western canon talk about meditation, they talk about deep contemplation of an idea. They talk about going on long walks and contemplating, thinking about, investigating deeply ideas about God or contradictions about the way the world works, or trying to puzzle out why things are the way they are. Buddhist meditation, as we know, is different. And it is an internal journey, but it's not a conceptual one. It's an experiential one. So Buddhist meditation is a search for truth in the same way Western meditation is traditionally taught, but we're looking for a truth that is already there, that is here, actually, not one that will be revealed to us, by an external God or our own brilliant intellect, The meditation techniques that we practice were invented in India about 2,500 years ago. And it's quite a radical proposition. The genius is really in the simplicity of the practice. And the fact that it starts on day 1, the very first time, we learn to meditate in a Buddhist tradition, and it continues all the way through to, death or final enlightenment, whichever comes first. And the practice is just to sit and do nothing. It is literally just to not do anything. It's just so simple and so radical and so brilliant. And the basic message of this is that you have enough already. You, me, with all of our glory and our confusion, is enough. No matter how generous or disciplined or patient or enthusiastic we feel or we don't feel, you can meditate. No added ingredients. No assembly required. What I love about American Buddhism or Western Buddhism is where we meditate. So in Asian countries, Buddhism is a state religion in many countries, and a big part of the culture of many countries in Asia. But actually, deep meditation is not widely practiced. So if you want to be a practitioner in Japan or Tibet or Vietnam, you generally join a monastery. And even then, the opportunities to deeply practice meditation are more rare than one would think from the West. So I remember asking Dzigar Kongtrul Rinpoche, who's a Tibetan meditation master, if he thought I should go to India or Nepal to practice and study meditation. And he was very clear to me. He was like, you should stay here. Like, the practice environment is much better here. And he would know. So of course, we don't just meditate in monasteries or on retreat. In the West, we meditate in our bedrooms, and we meditate on the bus, and we meditate walking at night. The traditional division between meditation and what's called the post-meditation experience in the teachings is much more fluid and much more permeable in the West. And now my notes say, like, riff on this a little bit, because this is really the thing I'm most excited about when I think about American Buddhism or Western Buddhism in the tradition of Buddhism across the world and across time. It's that we're trying to blend the experience and the realization, the insight and the solidity and the patience and the clarity of meditation practice with a normal householder life. They call it the householder yogi. So we are all householder yogis trying to merge these two things together in a way that honestly, like, is somewhat different than than how Buddhism has traditionally been taught. Which is not to say that meditation in action never happens in Asia. Like, Zen practitioners have a wonderful phrase for this called chop wood, carry water. If any of you have seen the movie Jiro Dreams of Sushi, then you know what I'm talking about. If you're going to do something, just do that thing. Chop wood, carry water, do the dishes. So it's not an American invention, but we have this opportunity because we don't have this incredible institutional state and monastic situation where religion is associated with these big institutions. We sort of are bleeding it out into daily life. Many of the famous Tibetan lineage teachers worked a day job. Sarahar was a hunter. Talopa was a bouncer at a bar and ground sesame seeds for sesame oil. That was his job. Marpa was a beer drinking farmer when he wasn't translating Sanskrit, teaching Milarepa the true nature of mind. So it's out there. And of course, we have monasteries in the West, but most of our meditation in our culture is happening outside these formal institutions. So we will get to practice in a second, but I do want to point out here, as Western meditators, that we're embarking on a somewhat new path. We aren't leaving our palace to join the forest renunciates the way the Buddha did. We aren't forsaking our possessions and our families to live in a monastery the way so many of our teachers have. So some of the texts and the teachings that come out of these environments actually might not work for us in our environment. So we've talked about Shantideva before. He wrote one of the definitive books on the Paramitas. About half of his chapter on meditation, he spends arguing that normal daily life with its distractions and pleasures is not worth living, and that we should all just abandon all this and go meditate in the woods. Now, I don't know what your plans are, but I'm not going to do that. And as romantic as it sounds, like it's just not going to happen en masse in the West. So we have to sort through the teachings and figure out which ones work for us in this culture and in this life. But I think, and I know that the core teachings of Buddhism, the core practice of Buddhism, which is sitting quietly, grounding our attention in the present moment, and then gradually letting our awareness expand, being brave in the face of our internal chaos, gradually loosening, relaxing, opening up to ourselves, to other beings, and to the world. It does work in our daily Western life. But we can't merge meditation with daily life without meditating. So let's do that. We will, of course, as usual, start by taking a good posture. Settling into your body. And we're going to start this meditation session a little tight. Maybe we're going to start a little too tight, a little tighter than usual. And then we'll take a quick tour through shamatha and vipassana, gradually opening up. And then we'll end in our discussion. And then when we end the Zoom session, I would like to encourage everyone to experiment with bringing meditation out into our daily life a little bit more. So please start by making an aspiration that this time will benefit ourselves and other people. Maybe there's one specific person, or maybe it's the whole world. And then let your awareness sink from your head and your eyes down through your neck, through your chest, through your belly, to your seat, like as if you were to drop a coin in a huge glass of water. Sort of flips down, back and forth until it comes to rest where your seat meets your chair or meets your cushion. Feel the weight of your body on the seat. when your thoughts flitter your attention away, just remember that you set aside this time to meditate. And gently but firmly bring your attention back to the feeling of your seat on the chair. Your legs are underneath you, feet are on the floor. It feels solid. The weight of your body on the earth is like a rock in a snowstorm. Out of that rock grows a tree, which is your spine. Your spine rises up. And you can feel it one vertebrae at a time. You can feel a stack of bones rising with this tree trunk. You can feel the muscles and the guts in your abdomen. You can feel your heart. Shoulders can relax a little bit. Slide down the back of your upper back. Heart can open up more. The muscles around your throat can soften. You can feel your body unified. You can feel the weight of your seat. You can feel the relaxation of your jaw. You can feel the opening of your heart all at once. You can feel that line of the tree reach up into your skull. And you can imagine that it just continues, that there's a thread or string that goes from the top of your head up into the sky. You can imagine just a slight lift. And you can imagine relaxing around that lift. Your body resting on the earth and extending up to the sky at the same time. But it's not all that serious. Elise talked about smiling when you're meditating. You can still feel your body breathing, but you aren't policing your thoughts with a big club. We're just sitting here, being human. You can open your eyes. And you can still feel your body breathing even though your eyes are open. Feel your breath go out of your body. Ride the breath out into the world. Relax the project of meditation. So we're going to dedicate the merit. Jim, can I ask you to pull it up again? And then while we do that, let's try to take the sense of curiosity and exploration into post-meditation. May all beings have happiness and the causes of happiness. May all be free from sorrow and the causes of sorrow. May all beings never be separate from the joy that knows no sorrow. May all beings rest in equanimity, free from attachment and hatred. It's 9:30, so if people have to leave, thank you for coming. We see you again soon. And if anyone wants to stay and chat a little bit, you're more than welcome to.